Today we're going to improvise a little stove. We need an empty tin, some form of vegetable oil or something along that line, and cardboard, and something to cut said cardboard with. Okay, what we want to do is open up the box completely. And figure your general thickness. You want it a little bit thinner than actually what the can is. What's up, buddy? So we'll mark it. It doesn't have to be precise. The extra will burn away anyway. What this is it just provides the wicking material for the oil. And you can get a pretty good flame out of this. Then once you do it, you start rolling it up. Cut strips. Pop it in there. And you can take your gaps that are in there. You can roll another layer around. You can do, it doesn't really matter how these go in. They'll all eventually be consumed anyway. You take your oil of whatever sort you have. You can actually even use in a real tight spot. You can use engine oil and things like that, but I don't recommend it at all, especially if you're cooking food. That's just not cool. But if you have to have some form of a fire, this will work. And you pour oil over your cardboard. And you can fill the tin if you're going to be using it for quite a while, because they will burn for quite a long time. Now if you're cooking on this, you probably want to take this completely off. You don't necessarily have to, because it's kind of handy, because you can actually kind of put the flame out if you're careful with a stick, push it down. But you can't set your pot directly on top of it, even if this was off, because you'd put the fire out because it wouldn't be able to get oxygen. You'd have to cut little notches in the side, or the easier way is to find some stones or a couple of bricks, something like that, to keep it down a little bit where your pot would actually sit on it. And once you get it lit, start traveling up the cardboard. You can't really do this if it's real full. Get a pretty good flame out of it, and they'll burn for quite a long time, and you can easily add fuel to it when it starts running low. That's why sometimes if you're not going to burn it for a long time, it's better to actually have less fuel in it, then you can add to it as you need it. That way you don't waste a whole lot of it. And the oil, you don't have to, unlike gasoline and things like that where you have to worry about flashback into your container, the oil, it's really highly unlikely that would ever happen. It's got a higher ignition point. It takes a little bit more to actually get it going. So you can see it's actually starting to walk across the surface now. that's pretty much a simple stove. A fat, basically it's a modification of a fat lamp. You're increasing the wick area and you're still burning oil or fat. You can use most anything in here. You can use Crisco, you can use wax even. Engine oil, although that makes for a nasty fire. Any form of vegetable oil, canola oil, grapeseed oil, anything like that'll burn. It's just kind of whatever you can get your hands on and what you have and when you need it. That's the big trick on anything. What you have when you need it. It's just that it's knowing different ways of doing different things, because you won't always have what you need. The world isn't perfect. Murphy's kind of a butthole. He will ensure that you will really have to work to make it out of whatever situation he decides to put you in. It's just one more thing to know. And to put it out, the easiest way to put it out is basically push that down and you're cutting the air off, or put something on top of it. If you don't have the sides trimmed out and whatnot, you can put something on top of it and you can cut the air off, and the fire goes out. Just like that. Now, you got to be careful, the tin will still be hot, but you can transport it once it cools off a little bit.